All right, this is Coach McCarthy, and we are on 7.3. So, 7.3, we're talking about managing our online accounts. And when we talk about our online accounts, you're going to have a lot. You might have one through you should probably have one through your bank, through your health for your both your insurance and also your different hospitals that you're going to be using. You're going to have one for your credit card or credit cards. Hopefully, you don't have too many. You might have one for your utilities, and like I said, with where I live in Frankfurt, everything's connected together, so I just have one account. Any other financial institutions you might be involved with, if you have investments, you're going to have an account with them. Have one for your student loans. And the one thing that we're going to talk about is you want to make sure you understand your username and password, and you do want to try and use something that's going to be unique. And you want to make sure that you write them down somewhere so that you have them. And you probably don't want to use the same username and password for everything. And the reason they say that is if you get your username and password compromised, they'll have access to everything. Now, the hard part is in the early days of the internet, that was kind of easy to remember because you might only have 4 or 5 accounts. But nowadays we have more accounts than we know what to do with. So the idea of having a different username and password for all of them is a great thing, but for a lot of us, that's not really practical because we can't remember all that stuff. So good idea to write them down. Make sure you have something unique, something that someone can't easily guess. Um, when you do start having those username and passwords, be careful because they can be stored or saved on your browser. And that can be a bad scenario if your computer were to get compromised or your internet were to get compromised and someone gets your username and passwords, they can get into your account. So there's not really a, a fail safe way of having everything in there. Um, you can get stuff for security for your computer, but that's a different class. So when we talk about managing our online accounts, just making sure that we can keep track of things and what's going on. One of the ones that we don't always think about, and nowadays we have what we have called connected accounts, where you can connect your Google to other accounts. It'll use your same username and password, and that's pretty good because it's going to be the same username and password as what you use for Google, but you have to remember what you've done. Another one that we're starting to see a lot of more and more is you can now log in with your Facebook account to a lot of places, which is good because again, same username and password, but bad because you might not remember what's going on. And also be careful with Facebook because part of that is you're giving them the rights to your data and your information. So that might not be some stuff you want to pass out and have a lot of people knowing. There are some other ways you can connect accounts. Those are probably the biggest ones that I see on a regular basis. So let's click on here for our link and see what we've got. So privacy, how to find old accounts. So this is a good thing too. Don't let old accounts just sit out there. Go out there and close them. Don't have them open where something bad could potentially happen. If you're not going to use it anymore, go shut it down. Go log out. Go delete your account and get it over with. So how to manage your passwords is what we talked about and keep track of things. Again, you want to be able to remember those passwords and where you have accounts set up. So I think that's pretty much, the main thing to talk about with managing our online accounts is just maintaining your username and passwords. Don't get more accounts than you know what to do with. And that you can be tracked on a lot of those. And that's kind of beyond our personal finance again. But if you have old accounts, go shut them down. Make sure you try and use a unique username and password. Those are probably the main things. And you're probably going to have more online accounts than I will just because of the way our world is changing. So, be careful online. Make sure you're using privacy and security as much as you can, and don't give out your username and password to anybody.